Hello, welcome to Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Today I'm going to be doing some work out in the raised bed area. I'll show you a little bit what I've been working on, and in the video it'll probably look like quite a mess. So this is my secret garden. See, it's a secret because you can't find nothing. Anyways, so I have lots of bulbs planted here, and what I'm doing is I'm taking some of the ones that are growing a little bit too far to the middle. I'm digging them out and putting them in a different area. But down the middle right here is a hidden pavers that I have been digging up. Actually, I placed them, and what I did is I put some, let's see if we can find some down here. Some really thin weed blocker stuff. Well, there was supposed to be a pathway through the middle that you could walk on. Well, it didn't work so well. So that I'm pulling all the bricks up that are in the middle, and I've got to go all the way to the rhubarb right there. And then all this stuff right here in the middle, if I just weed whack it down, it's just like grass and, purple nettle and just different stuff. Weed whack it down, and then, where's my finger? Back here I have a wooden raised bed that I'm going to dig up my rhubarb. I have 2 rhubarbs. I'm going to dig those out and put them in the raised bed that you cannot see in this little secret garden here. And then I'm putting road fabric, which down here, let me get back to the beginning, or the other end of it. Whoa, don't trip now. So I'm going to put road fabric all through the middle of here and pea gravel so that it'll be opened. I'll put a little archway here and probably another archway right here where these bricks are, so you can walk in it and just make it an easier flowing garden, which would continue through my raised bed. So in this whole section right here, when we bought the property, before we moved, there was a manufactured home or something here, and which was moved when we moved, which was taken out before we moved here. And we tried digging the rocks. The rocks go for miles. I'm not kidding you. So hello, welcome, and hi, Des. Anyways, so we tried digging the rocks out, found out that it never ended. So then we tried to do amendments by adding like compost and soil and stuff like that. Well, all that just sunk down into those rocks and did not make a difference. And so I'm like, okay, so let's put road fabric down and pea gravel and do a raised bed in this area, and that'll solve the problem. So it has, and it's working out well. So all this grass will be weed whacked. I did do a wheelbarrow planter which tipped over. That'll have to be stabilized and redone, but it will look very nice once it's done. I did get a bunch of giant stones that I have going all along here, which you can't see at the moment, but I'm going to get some cement. I have more stones, and I'm going to build the stones up a little bit higher along the front of this. And then, sorry, I've been kind of losing my voice. I've been pulling out planters and stuff out of there so I can weed whack it. We have some wood, whatever these are called. We got on a good sale like a year ago. Anyways, so those will line the edges of this area. And where the where the pea gravel is, weeds and things like that grow in there. But because I have the road fabric underneath there, it is very easy to pull them out. And I found a solution. So once I get all these picked out and all the pea gravel leveled as best as I can, there's this spray that you can spray on called rock glue. And it essentially holds all the rocks in place. And so I'm thinking, well, then hopefully no more grass and things will grow on or in the pea gravel, which will help make it look nicer. So I did finish, I pulled this out of my secret garden area. It's an old like mower kind of thing. Anyways, I have this raised bed. I filled it and amended it. I haven't gotten anything planted in here as of yet, but I'm just getting it ready. And then this bed right here was a futon couch, which I took the whole back of the futon couch off and put tin along the sides of it for a raised bed, but now I'm in the middle of emptying the soil out of it. And what I want to do is I want to turn it going that way once I get that weed whacked and the road fabric laid. Turn that. I know it looks all confusing because you guys are probably like, what are we doing? But in my mess, I have like different pots of plants and things like that are in here that need to be pulled out. You know, just stuff that got overtaken, right? And it wasn't as bad a few months ago, but in spring here, everything grows like crazy. So, but I'm pulling all the buckets out, getting the pavers out of that area. Yeah, so that's that. So I'm going to try to figure out how to mount this because I have to do it vertical. So you guys can see what project I'm working on at the moment. So I have some Greenstalks, and let me show you. I have this Greenstalk here, and I put tomato cages upside down because the deer last fall discovered that I had this with strawberries growing in it. And then I used some pavers, and all the pavers that I have I've gotten for free from different people that just had them in their yards and things that, you know, didn't need them anymore. Anyways, I leveled those out the best that I can and filled them in with bigger rocks and then pea gravel. And I'm going to be putting the other Greenstalk on there, and that's what we're going to be working on today. Let's see if I can see. Welcome everybody in. No, I don't date anybody. I'm married. Thank you. Okay, so there is, let me see if you guys can see. I think. Let me get it just adjusted just right. Yeah, you guys can see. All right, so we're gonna put this Greenstalk that I moved over just before I started filming. I didn't think you guys wanted to see me do that. I used a big wheelbarrow to transplant them. They were full of soil, and I dumped them out to put some new fresh compost in there. And so here's the base, which has a drainage spout. And so what we're gonna do is we're just going to put everything together. And I mixed some goat manure and some compost in my soil. That's what I'm going to be using in here because I like to put some worms in my beds and my Greenstalk so that the worms have stuff to eat. No. Nope. So I hope everybody's having a great day today. And ignore anybody who's making any strange comments, which is inappropriate and not acceptable. I am Heather, and this is Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, and I am a family-based person and a pretty honest person, so I won't stand for any of that shenanigans. And so I'm just making sure that there isn't any rocks in here or big clumps. That's all. Nothing too exciting here. And so I haven't quite figured out what I want to plant in these. I'm thinking I may do some herbs. I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to plant in these. You don't want to pack the soil down too much, but just a little bit, because it will, when you water it in, it will get lower, you know. Just want to kind of make sure we're a little balanced here and centered before I start. It seems kind of wobbly. I don't like that. There, much better. So I'm just evening it out, and I'm going to fill it all the way to the top again, because it's going to get lower as you water. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm thinking kind of like, yeah, there's a little bit of hay in here, which is good because I'll be putting worms in here as well. To help loosen the soil and put some worm compost, you know, like worm dirt, sorry, in there. Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys are all having a great day. And I'm just going to continue to keep working on this, and I thank you so much for joining me today. It might not seem very exciting watching me put this soil in here. I apologize. It takes a minute. But I've been working for a while trying to get all my seedlings planted inside. I haven't brought them out yet. And just trying to get things taken care of and ready for the spring. Doing a lot of weed eating and preparation and mowing and all that kind of stuff, you know. All right, so it's about there. And then you put these little trays, and then I'm going to wipe the stuff out from the inside. And you stick it right in the middle and push it down a little bit. like that. Cool. So then I fill it back. Okay. Yeah, there's some rocks in my compost, which, you know, happens. All right, so there's that. Now we're gonna put the next tier on. And these, you know, these are pretty solid plastic, so. And then you just want to make sure, so on the bottom, they have these little pieces that go in between, and you push down on it, and it kind of helps keep it in its place. Just like that. And then soil in the next tube. And I'm going to put dirt in the hole, so I should stick something in there so dirt doesn't fall down in that hole. What could I stick in there? If I could find a pointy rock, that would work. There we go. I'll just stick that rock there. Help prevent some of the dirt falling into that hole, which goes down to the little water base thing here. And this is what, so when you water from the top of the Greenstalk, it flows into each tier. It fills each tier up and then leaks down. And there's little tiny holes going all the way around to water the one that it's in, and then the excess stuff overflows into the center hole all the way down. And then if there's too much water, there's a hose on the base, the spinner base, where it can run out. Now with Greenstalks, depending on the time of the year, and if you haven't gotten rain, you'll want to make sure that you water, because they will dry out just like any raised container. Like if you have hanging pots or whatever, you have to water them every day for the most part, or a couple times a day depending where you live and what your weather's like, because they're out in the air, and air flow and circulation will dry things out more faster. Yeah, so whoever's joining in, I'm filling a Greenstalk. At the beginning of the video, I did a little tour of my secret garden. I can't see who's here. Hi Penny, welcome in. Let me see if I can try and see what you guys are saying. Somebody's saying something rude again. Anyways, don't worry, you guys. It happens, right? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you're kind, because there are families and people that might watch this and they don't need to see icky stuff going on. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go back to continuing to Greenstalk. So do any of you guys do any vertical gardening? Vertical gardening, if you didn't know, just means growing up, taller, higher instead of, out, which saves on space, especially if you have a smaller area or you have a lot of things that you're doing in your gardening area and you want to kind of condense and make the most of your growing. Yeah, so it's a lovely day here. It's 71, which is nice. It's a little warm. Boy, I was sweating pretty good earlier trying to get these moved over. So these Greenstalks that I have, and when I got them a couple years ago, they were having a sale over on Greenstalk. So that's a good time, to look for sales, save some money. And anyways, I've had them for quite a few years, and I've grown lettuces. Actually, I'm thinking I'll probably grow some heat tolerant lettuces in some of them, and probably some herbs. I like the other one that I have with the strawberries in it. Now, if I had more Greenstalks, I'd probably do some more strawberries in the Greenstalks. I like it because you don't, if you have slugs in your area, they don't tend to bother coming up into the Greenstalks. At least I haven't found any. Alright, so let's get the second center water piece in here. I'm going to take my little rock stopper out. Make sure you clean out any soil if you've used your Greenstalk before. So now every year, or whenever you're going to do a new planting in your Greenstalk, you do want to replace some of the soil in it. You don't have to empty the whole thing out. You can empty out like a third of it or half of the soil that's existing in here, scooping it out, and put some new fresh stuff in there, because as your plants grow, they start eating all the nutrients and sucking the nutrients. If you've ever noticed in like raised gardens or in pots when you're growing things, how the soil kind of goes lower after a bit, well, that's because the plants need the nutrients, and so they're basically eating the nutrients. So you'll want to replace half of it. Like if you did winter sowing, you might want to replace a third or half of the soil out of each tier, so that way you're giving some good stuff to the plants that you're putting in there. So that looks good, that works, and we're going to go with the next level. And again, it has these little things. There are some spider webs on here. Again, like I said, I relocated this from a different area because I wanted it here. And you just kind of line each little thingy up before you put your soil in. So you have to do it layer by layer. So I'm going to put my little rock stopper in here. You do it layer by layer because they're quite heavy to lift when they're filled with soil. And you don't want to crack it, although it is pretty, I don't know why this one's not lining up. I'm doing something. Okay, this side's going. There we go. And you just kind of push down on all the sides, get that nice and flat as you can, and then just start filling it up with your compost or your good soil, and put some kind of a stopper on the top of here so you don't drop soil down this middle part into your white water tray. We have a big clump of soil right here. And I'm going to break it up. And then I will go and put worms, several worms in each of these tiers so that they can help loosen the soil and do worm dirt in there. I'm trying to see, okay, I just wanted to make sure you guys could see all the way up to this level. I hope you guys are having a great day. And everything's going well. I don't know what to say. So I have my raised garden area that I showed you at the beginning of this video. And then I have a bigger garden that's in-ground garden that I do all the other stuff, but that's not quite ready yet. So I'm just kind of working on doing this front raised garden and getting it nice. I'll be adding different benches and things like that for sitting, and some solar lights and things like that to sit and enjoy in the evenings. Sticks or little sticks can be good too. They'll break down, give some stuff for the worms to eat. I do have so Gail from Gail's Southern Living, she's doing a weird container garden collaboration. Anybody's welcome to do it. And if you don't have a channel, you could always email her pictures of your weird containers so she can share it if you'd like. Weird container gardening is something that's not quite normal that you would grow into, like a sink or a bathtub or whatever. Just be, be creative. Actually, I can show you something of kind of a weird container thing. So now in my secret garden that I showed at the beginning of this live, and how it's got a lot of grass and stuff growing in it, well, I found these little boots that I had planted succulents in. Oh, here's a cleaver. You should look up cleavers. They're sticky and you can use them herbally. They grow long, and yeah. Anyways, so this is kind of like a weird container gardening. They faded from sun, but I've got to put some more, just kind of a cute little thing. that you could grow in if you wanted to. I think they were my grandsons. Gosh, I did that like probably like 5 years ago. Yeah, that's how long that I've had succulents put in those. Oops, took my plug out. Break up any clumps. Again, don't push down the levels. You can a little bit, but not too much, because you don't want your soil to be packed when you're planting plants or seeds, because you want the roots to be able to funnel down and be able to go under so that they can find all the nutrients that they need to and so I'm filling these. There is a line, what is that, about ½ of an inch down where it says fill line, but I'm going all the way to the top because once this is watered in, it's going to lower a little bit, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm just kind of making sure there isn't rocks in here. I'm kind of, leveling it around. There's that. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. And then again, you want to wipe out any debris or soils that is inside of the tray. It's got the center little hole right there and some little holes that go around. And the little holes that go around water the tier that it's on. And then the center excess water, once it goes over that, will spill into the hole going down to the next tier. All right, so there's that. We're getting there. And the next one. And so there's an indentation under here, if you didn't know, that this fits into. And then these little legs, I suppose you would call, go around this part here to kind of help keep everything balanced. I don't know. That's the best way I can explain it. And then I have my little rock stalker that I'm going to put in the center. And I got to make sure that I've got all these edges down. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but once you get it in, like, placed. Okay, let me see if you guys are, I can't see. Okay, I think you guys can still see where I'm at. All right, so now to fill this in. Just saw a rock. And again, I mixed compost. compost with a bit of goat stall cleaning, manure out of their stall to give stuff for worms to eat, because I am going to be adding several worms into each tier again for adding worm castings, which is their worm poop. And as they move around in soil, they help loosen it so it doesn't get all compacted and like that. And so these ones are deep. They have shallower ones, but I want to go with the deeper Greenstalk ones, because then you have more options to grow things that have longer roots. There we go. As it gets taller, it's like, ooh, gotta be careful so you don't spill. And I'm running out of compost, but I have more. So I make my own compost out of kitchen scraps and manure, all kinds of stuff. And I do it layered. So we'll do, like, you know, hay that wasn't eaten, stall cleanings. We'll go out in the pasture and collect from the cows and just kind of do it layered, kind of like lasagna, but you don't need it. And you just layer, add a little bit of water. If you have any mulch or anything, you can put that in there. Branches, leaves, stuff like that. The more organic matter that you add into your compost, eggshells, old vegetables, stuff like that, the more organic matter, like leaves and grasses. You can do your grass from your lawn mowing, stuff like that. The better that your soil is going to be. You can also make biochar, which is a process. Biochar is really nice because it helps. Ooh, there's a red ant in here. Come on. Come out. I don't want to touch it. Biochar. So biochar you can make in like your fire pit with wood, and you have to be careful, of course. Heat it up until it's like little charcoal things. Let them cool completely, and then you will then bury those little pieces of wood that are left over after they're completely cooled, and you'll put them in your compost with a little bit of water, and the water in the compost actually activates the charcoal, or the biochar I should say. Don't use regular charcoal, not the same thing. It activates it so that it has all the nutrients and stuff. So then biochar has all these micronutrients in them, and when you put it in raised beds and stuff like that, it helps retain some of the moisture. It also lets off all these nice nutrition and things like that for your soil health. Okay, so now that I've run out of compost, we have to go on a field trip to put more compost in. Here we go. I'm sorry if you all over the place over here. there. And usually I don't use this big of a wagon, but my other wagon has pots and things like that in it from working on the little secret garden part. The purpose is for that to happen. I have a feeling that brick's going down now. I knew it. Sometimes in these big clumps of worms, oh, I don't see any. So this is my compost. And then I have some fine wood shavings, really fine wood shavings. It almost looks like soil. I'll put some of that in there. Try to get some of the rocks. If I see any out. Killdeer, deer kill, whatever they're called, birds. So I'm just mixing some of the stuff in with the compost. Again, it's just to help feed the worms that I'm going to be adding into the Greenstalk. And I'm going to grab some goat shavings. So this is the goat shavings. And you can add any pelleted type of compost immediately to your plants. And by pelleted, and yes, I'm touching dried poop, pelleted is like that. So like your goats, your rabbits, things like that, you can add that to your plants right away and it doesn't burn them. But cow poo, horse poo, stuff like that is hot and will burn your plants up. You want that to sit for a period of time and compost. I think that's enough. Kind of stir it around. All right, there's that. So now we're gonna go on a field trip again. Here we go. Back to the machine. The Greenstalk, almost done. Ooh, I got you guys real close there, didn't I? Okay, let me see if I can see. I don't know if I can see. Barely. Okay, I can't read your comments just yet. When I'm done with this, we'll sit and chat and hang out for a bit. I hope that you guys are all in getting, can I speak right? I'm hoping that you guys are all able to do some planting. And if you haven't, there's so many great channels and places that you can learn if you're having questions about how to grow certain things. Is that a rock? Yep. And I need a little bit more in the middle. Almost there. One more tier after this one. And that one is going to be a little bit harder because it's going to be taller. All right. So there's that. I think with this last tier, I'm going to fill it up. See that black ant right there? Sorry, you need to go down. You're not going down. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to fill this up halfway. Why? Doesn't matter. Oh well, it's there. The water tray, wipe it out again, and then center it on that little piece that's in the middle. Okay? So I'm filling this one up halfway before I put it on there because it's higher and I'll probably spill. Now to get it all level and balanced. Ta-da! Okay, don't spill, don't spill. Can you guys see? I think I need to have you guys angled up more, maybe. I don't know. I'll tell you what though, I'm hot. Okay, you can see the top. Pushing it out to the little sides. Get those filled in. And I have a, after I get all the soil in here, I have to go and grab the top watering tray. I left it over there. All right, move this up. Okay, let's see if this is there. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, so here's the top tier that you put water in. And it's got like these little pieces that go right on top of where these notches are. So that's how it kind of stays on there. It's got lines on the inside, so you can see like what water level you want to do. I typically will fill it up all the way, especially in the summer, and then it just slowly drains down from tier to tier to tier. So there that is. And if any of the pockets look kind of low, you know, you can put just a little bit more soil in them. Or compost, whatever you use in your area. All right. How about that? All right, so let's see if I can take you guys and flip you around. All right, see, here I am. Now I have to get to where I can see the comments. I can't see. Okay, we'll go for a walk to where there's some shade. And my face, yes, my face is all red. Oh my goodness. Whew. Sweating. All right, hi Gail. Who else is in here? It's still hard to see. Hi Turkbee. Hi Robin. Penny. Oh, and your greenhouse. That's cool. I can't wait to have a greenhouse. Gail, if you have a chance, could you get rid of Crip Blue? Oh gosh, this feels so good. It's like in the shade and it's a nice cool breeze. So moving those in that wagon, I did 3 of them at a time, and I had to lift each one full with soil in them, and I dumped them out on the compost that is getting made. And that took me, I don't know, about 20 minutes, I think. And I wanted to do that part because I didn't want you guys to wait for me to go back and forth, you know. So that didn't take too long. How long was that? About an hour for me to get those stacked and filled. Not too bad. And yeah. So now I'm gonna water it. Well, I'll probably put quite a bit of water in there and see where the soil level goes down before I plant in it, just because I don't want to put seeds in there and have the seeds like kind of go down too much, you know. But so I'll turn you around and I'll show you the little secret garden, because you don't even look at this. And I'll show you my free rocks that I got. Okay, ready? Okay, here we go. So this is my free rocks. Let's see. They're all different sizes. I really, really like these like green ones. They're cool. I use those for like landscaping, in my landscaping. And then, so I got those for free from somebody whose backyard was filled with them. So I did several loads of that. Boy, I'll tell you, it was work. So it was kind of like you had to go like down the sidewalk from the driveway and fill the wheelbarrow, push the wheelbarrow like up an incline, and then load them in the truck. And then, yeah, that was so much work. I could have got more, but dude, that was a lot of work. And then these pavers, look at all these pavers. Was a different lady who bought a place, and her entire front yard was pavers. No grass, no soil, all pavers. Anyways, so she said, you can have as many as you want, but you got to dig them and take them. And so I did that. We did quite a lot. Oh my gosh, that was so much work. I think in a 3-week period, I lost 20 pounds. I'm not kidding you. Okay, so this is chicken wire that I just set here so it's out of the way. This all right here has to be weed whacked. This is my secret garden, because it's a secret. You can't find anything. I have rhubarb growing there that I'm going to dig up. And these, I'll get down to this other end so you can tell. So I've got those stones, the first stones that I showed you right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some cement and go up higher with those stones. I kind of like the old world kind of like look of them. I don't know. Anyways, so here's these pavers that I got from a friend of mine a long time ago. Anyways, they were in the middle of here with some weed blocker stuff that was so thin that didn't do a bit of good. These are all flower bulbs. So I'm trying to dig some of them out that go a little bit too far to the center and relocate them into a different area. And then once I get all these little pavers out of the center, I still have a little ways to go right here. I'm going to weed whack all this stuff here, and I have a wooden raised bed right here. I'm going to clean that out, put some new compost in it, and dig up my rhubarbs and put my rhubarbs in the raised bed. And then I'm going to put road fabric down. This will be all cleaned up, road fabric, and then pea gravel. And then, I can't see, I'll have an arbor archway coming into here, over there. And then on this end where these pavers are, I'll have another archway, and then do some lights and like a little, actually I'm gonna put, I'll show you what bench I'm gonna put. This little bench right here, this little cement bench that I got from somewhere for like 20 bucks from somebody's garage sale or something. I'm cheap. Anyways, I'll put that over there in my secret garden. And instead of that little bench, I have a bench from a school auction that we paid. What did we pay? We bought some tickets, and you put the tickets at the school in these little containers for different gifts that they have at the school, and they like draw out the names of whoever put tickets in for specific items. Anyways, ooh, there was a hawk above my head. That horse right there is what I won. And it's got, that's one end, and then that's the other end. And there's a big, huge slab of wood that goes across that's about 5-6 feet long that I'll be putting there. And my newest piece that I picked up is this little red bench. And I thought that it was beautiful. So I paid $20 for it. It needs some work. So there is some dry rot going on the back piece right here. And it's kind of loose right there. And everything else is pretty good except for this corner piece here. But I can make it look almost new. There is a wood kind of glue thing. I forget what it's called. Anyways, you put like painter's tape and you paint it on there, and it makes it solid, like firm, so it's not like all dry rotted. And then I'll probably sand it down first, and then I'll probably reinforce the seating part underneath with a couple extra vertical slats. And then on the back, to strengthen the back, I'll do the same thing. And then repaint it, and I'll probably repaint it red because that's a nice pop of color in the garden. So there's another one of my mini projects. But the horse bench, that needs to get moved. It's already been prepped and everything. I might put another, I got some wooden boat, like sealer, waterproofer kind of stuff. So I might put one more coat on that before I put it out. So it's nice to have different areas to sit in so you can enjoy all your hard work, right? Pine cones. See? So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to take you along and show you my secret garden and have you hang out with me while I did the Greenstalk. So I put all the pine cones right there. And then that is mint. That needs some grass, needs to be thinned out of that mint. What else? What do I have growing? I have garlic growing. And I put these tomato cages up to help keep the deer out of my raised bed. I've got some grass there to pull up. This is elephant garlic and some of this stuff that needs to be pulled out. So anyways, yeah, I don't have anything planted in this bed yet. Some beets right there. The last live, or I don't know, one of the live videos I did, I'll show you in a minute. There are my hops that are really nicely vining up this archway. Is that cool or what? That's a sage. I've got some garlic there. I need to take out, this is my spearmint. I'm gonna take out these random spearmints, and I have some calendula that is popping up in the middle. So there'll be calendula in the middle, the sage, calendula, and the spearmint. In this pot I have, and I need to get the weeds out still, a fuchsia. And then this is my lemon mint. It's kind of interesting how it's growing like that, like a little goblin or something. I don't know. Anyways, this bed needs a little bit of weeding in it as well. There's calendula started, so it will be just like the other bed. My lemon mint, calendula, and a different variety of sage. And then, what are these called? These are berries. Marion berries right there. And then this one isn't doing as well, same kind of Marion berry. And then I did a live where I did these two of new raspberries, and I had dug them out and planted them with you guys. Well, here's my raspberries. And looky there. There's some kind of a melon or something growing there, and from my compost, I'm taking it out. Why? Last year I let them all grow wherever they wanted to grow, and it was just everywhere. See, look at that. So if you have seeds for some kind of melon or whatever, and you don't want them growing randomly wherever you put your compost, highly recommend taking the seeds out first. Unless you don't mind. I just want to go through that again, having melons all over everywhere. And then my bird bath over here fell down. And my rosemary. Ooh, there's a lot of honeybees, like a lot of honeybees in this rosemary. It's huge. And I keep trimming it, and I need to trim it some more. Anyways, that's a little bird bath there. I got to get the weed eater out and weed, that sounds so weird, eat the grass. What else do I have? I got to hand pick some of this grass. There's a grapevine that's growing there. Okay, let's see. What else is popping? I've got so much work to do, you guys. Don't judge. Do not judge. So I've got all my thingies. Blueberries. Okay, blueberries. That's what they are. I got to get the grass clipped out from the middles. That doesn't take very long. And, ooh, some mushrooms. This blueberry bush is called a pink lemonade blueberry bush, and it grows these dark pink blueberries that taste like a combination of pink lemonade and blueberry. They're very delicious. There's some more blueberries. These we bought big from somebody, and they're taking a while to come back, and that one I don't think is going to make it. Happens. This is a goji berry right here. That is a gummy berry. And goji berries, this is another goji berry that's starting to blossom. Get little flowers on it. They both have some protein in them. I see some ginormous bumblebees in there. Where'd it go? This is a goomy. I call it goonie, my goonie berry bush, but it's goomy. Anyways, I put some leaf compost around grapes. These are, most of them are Concord grapes. This one, I can't remember what this grape is. Again, I have to constantly be weeding right now because the spring, grows fast. That's another grape. I'm hoping this year I will get grapes. I don't know. And I've got raspberry shoots coming out here that I will dig up, and I will probably gift them to somebody. Sometimes though, if I find some empty spots after I get rid of some of that grass, empty spots, these are my other two established raspberry rows. If there's any gaps or holes where there isn't any raspberries growing, for example, like right here where all this grass is, once I kind of cut it and see if there's any growing there. If there's not, what I'll do is I'll dig up some of the random ones that aren't growing in where I want them. So raspberry leaves are very good for having in teas. Most animals can eat raspberry leaves as well. Thought I'd share that with you. But yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, a little bit of cleanup here and there. You can only work on so many things at once, right? A little at a time, just a little at a time. So, and then this area where my blueberries are, I put lots of compost mounds around each plant. There was a lot of mulch put in here last year. I just weed eated it, what was it, last Friday? And I need to come back through and weed eat again. Yeah, so a week later. This is my fig. And then, the orchard. Oh, and I did post to this is a little peach tree that I dug up and transplanted there. I moved it from, and I'll show you. I had two orange trees. They're not like your typical big oranges, like your Florida oranges, but that spot right there, a tree didn't make it a few years back. So that was an empty spot, and I had two oranges. And so I wanted the oranges to be, close to each other. So this is where that little peach tree was. So I decided to make it a new home, and it's right. So that's the orange. And then there's the orange up there. So I got those done. And then if you look where I did these peach, so supposedly peaches, people say, don't grow here, even though we're zone 8B. I don't know. So we'll see. So I've got 4 Alberta peach trees here. And then there was not a tree planted for the, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Yeah, the 5th tree. There was nothing here but grass. So I'm like, well, that works because all the fruit trees are in rows of 5. So it worked out. And I thought it was an apple tree until I read the tag, and I'm like, oh, it's a peach. So that's perfect. So that works. So anyways, So that's that. Oh, here's another weird container garden that I did last year. I don't know where I got that. It looks like a kind of like a little cradle kind of like thing. So I put cardboard in it and soil. So I'll have to plant something in there again. That's my friend right there. And then I have another little friend that will visit. Hello, are you my friend? What's your name? Who are you? You're kind of cute. Where'd you come from? Is your name Rolo? Hi, Rolo. You're so cute. Do you love Mama? Can you say it? Mama, I love you. No? Are you just enjoying your day? Can I pet you? Oh, yes, you're a good boy. Oh, yeah. I love you too. Oh, stretch. So, and the white cherry blossoms are done. The pink one, though. The pink ones are in bloom now. Isn't that pretty? Hi, Jacqueline. Jackie, sorry. It's bright out here. I can't see very well. Who else is here? Oh, getting some weirdos. Gail, you're on it. Thank you, Gail. I was like, okay. It happens, right? What time is it? 1:12. I'll probably be ending this in a few minutes here. And I thank you guys for joining me. If you haven't watched from the beginning, go back and watch from the beginning if you want. These are honeysuckles growing on my fence to kind of give privacy. And then over there is another honeysuckle. And I'm hoping someday that they'll vine all the way across the fence from left to right, creating some privacy and some nice jelly or something. Here's the other pink cherry blossom. Isn't that pretty? Let me get in the shade here. Yeah, it's really pretty. Anyways, I should let you go. Rolo! Come here. Otis! I have to yell loud so he knows I want him to come. Otis! Otis! Come on, Odie. Otis! See, I'm going to use this to brush him. It's actually a horse brush, but he loves it. Otis! Oh my gosh, he's so watch. Otis! Slow down. It's kind of scary, I'm telling you. Slow down. Thank you. You're a big boy. Should we brush? Oh, this is the spot right here. It's kind of hard to hold a phone and see shedding season. He loves it. Ooh, that feels good. Yes, that feels good. So good. Feels so good. Yeah. I don't push real hard, just to let you guys know. And then, see, hair. Can you turn around? Otis, so I brought Otis home in my Subaru hatchback when he was a baby. He was only about 50 pounds and he was bottle fed. His mama didn't love him, so I became his mama and I loved him. And sometimes at night I sing to him lullaby and goodnight. He likes it. He kind of goes, ooh, when I sing to him. Because I used to sing to him every night. Get some of that loose winter fur off. Can you turn around? He won't turn around. Anyways, that's Otis. I can't see. Are you going to turn around, Otis? Oh, good boy. Shoe flies. You rolled in something icky there. Some poo-poo, probably. All right. There you go. You're welcome. I know you're saying thank you in your mind. You saying thank you, Otis? You saying thank you, Otis? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good boy. All right. That's it. Ooh, my hands are just from that little touching him. Dirty boy.